minha última luta contra o Nick Lentz foi a melhor luta da noite e com certeza essa noite vai ser a mesma coisa.
This time, I'm gonna put it to him every round. It's not gonna be close.
Ele é um estrategista, ele é um grappling. Eu pretendo colocar um golpe, encaixar um golpe nesse meio da sequência dele aí e sair com a vitória.
Charles Oliveira has no idea who I am right now. He's gonna be in for a big surprise.
Essa vez o Nick Lentz está no meu caminho, eu tenho que vencer e eu vou vencer.
He's a one-trick pony. If you don't let him get where he wants to go, he'll break. I'm gonna systematically destroy him.
Oh, well, the UFC's featherweight division really has never been stronger. Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, they share the octagon in 6 short weeks. Frankie Edgar, Chad Mendes still loom large tonight. 8 versus 9 as Oliveira faces Lentz.
A huge matchup for both of these guys if they want to get a matchup with someone else who's on the move. You know, winner could take on a guy like Max Holloway, or who knows who Frankie Edgar or Chad Mendes are going to fight next, maybe each other, but this is a weight division to be in right now.
It certainly is. Not a lot of margin for error at 145. We will see which contender remains in the hunt after this co-headliner. So featherweights Charles Oliveira and Nick Lentz are soaring up the rankings in pursuit of a world title shot. First, though, they take care of some unfinished business in tonight's co-main event. Nearly 4 years ago, lightweight up-and-comers Charles Oliveira and Nick Lentz met in the fight of the night, a hard-fought battle that resulted in a no contest. Tonight, Oliveira and Lentz meet once again, this time as featherweight contenders intent on settling the score with one another. An all-action, crowd-pleasing competitor who has the post-fight awards to prove it, Brazil's Oliveira showed the best form of his career in recent wins over Jeremy Stephens and Hatsu Hioki. But Lentz also comes in with some momentum. The Minnesota native has won 4 of his last 5 fights since dropping down to 145 pounds. It sets the stage for another classic here tonight in Goiânia. Coming up next, the rematch shall be done as Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira squares off against Nick "The Carney" Lentz. Brian Stan, this man is must-see television. Number 8 in the world, Charles Oliveira, as good a submission guy as we have in the sport. Obviously secures a lot of them, but man, it's just the frequency with which he goes after it really is something to behold.
He's just constantly a step ahead of his opponents on the ground. What you think is coming from what you feel is just a setup for a follow-on submission. Just when you think you've escaped one thing, he latches onto another limb and takes it home with him. And if you stay on your feet and you stand in front of this guy, he will chop you up. You've got to move around him. You've got to throw different dynamics and dimensions at him. I mean, this is a tough go. Only the best guys in this division have been able to thwart him, but he is on his best run of his career right now in his best form.
Oh, no doubt about it. You know, back at UFC 162, July of 2013, he earned a lot of respect in that fight against Frankie Edgar. It was the fight of the night. Followed that up with back-to-back performance of the night, bonus-winning performances against Andy Ogle and Hatsu Hioki. And then dominated Jeremy Stephens largely last December. That's a very difficult guy to fight, to eliminate that power game. I just thought that was a masterful performance and really just spoke to Charles Oliveira's maturity as a fighter.
You're absolutely right. That is one of the tougher matchups you can give him in this division. A guy who's a powerful wrestler with ridiculous one-punch knockout power, and Oliveira showcased his own offensive wrestling game in that fight. He took Jeremy down at times. He did a very good job when Jeremy took him down of controlling his posture and eliminating any threat of ground and pound.
At 30 years old, making the walk for his 37th professional fight. Here is number 9, Nick Lentz, a tough out really for anybody in this division.
He is, and he's so much different than the guy who faced Oliveira the first time. He moves a lot more. He's greatly developed his striking. He's relocated from Minnesota now to American Top Team. And a real key for him tonight is going to be his footwork. He showed in the fight against Manny Gambarian and against Chad Mendes new angles, new depth to his striking game. Not a guy who just needs to grind you to win a fight. He throws a lot better kicks in this game now, and it's very important if you're going to take on Charles Oliveira that you do not stand in front of him. That is certainly the plan for Nick Lentz, to be moving all over the octagon tonight.
And we will also see what type of improvements he has made over the last 55 weeks. He has been out more than a year. He was to face Levon Makashvili, fell ill late during fight week. Now this fight against Charles Oliveira was also twice scheduled. And Sean Shelby worked very hard to keep this fight together. Tonight it will happen, Nick Lentz and Charles Oliveira. And again, given the landscape right now at 145 pounds, the stakes considerably higher than when these guys met the first time back in 2011.
And you said it best, there's no room for error here. A loss is a massive setback in this division right now with all the monsters in the top 10.
Our tale of the tape for the co-main event, the 30-year-old American Nick Lentz and Charles Oliveira, still only 25 years old. Oliveira 2 inches taller. We'll see if he can take advantage of a 6-inch edge in reach. All right, to get us the introductions for the co-main, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record, 19 wins, 4 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 144 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, USA, by way of Sao Paulo, Brazil, presenting the number 8 ranked featherweight fighter in the world, Charles "The Bronx" Oliveira. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a wrestler holding a professional record, 27 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 146 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, USA, presenting the number 9 ranked featherweight fighter in the world, Nick the Carney Lentz. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Kevin McDonald.
Kevin McDonald's been a busy man tonight. The lovely Jenny Andrade with us here for UFC Fight Night in Brazil. Nick Lentz, Charles Oliveira, 4 years or just under since they met the first time up a division at 155 pounds. They meet again.
Biggest difference from their first fight is the footwork and striking of Nick Lentz. He was very predictable previously, and he has changed up a lot of his takedowns to be body lock takedowns. He feels like he passes the guard more naturally with those type of takedowns, and as Coach Mike Brown said, the big rule for this fight is do not be inside the guard of Charles Oliveira.
Lentz came in having attempted 137 takedowns in 14 UFC fights, an average of nearly 10 attempts per fight.
You know, and he's known as a grinder, but I think he's really left that behind. When you watch his fights against Chad Mendes and especially Manny Gambirin, he showcased a whole new level with his striking. And now he's got to be careful here. Oliveira has one of the most wicked guillotines in the game. Nice work there from Nick Lentz. You got to imagine he trained and drilled the defense to that choke constantly in this camp.
Charles Oliveira actually hasn't finished a fight by guillotine, but a number of other different submissions, 11 career wins by submission in 6 different ways.
And he'll use that guillotine. He changed it. He actually gets an anaconda and then wraps his legs around it. He calls it the Bronx choke. But I asked about the threat of the takedown from Nick Lentz, and he said he did not care. You come to the ground, you come into my world. He is very confident off his back. Nice work there from Lentz. As soon as Oliveira gets an arm over his neck, he's immediately moving. But here's the ever-improving wrestling game of Oliveira that he showcased against Jeremy Stevens. Here he's working for the anaconda choke now, switched to a guillotine. Oh, beautiful knee to the body followed by an elbow. Excellent transitions for Charles Oliveira.
And Lentz able to eat it without issue.
If you stand in front of Oliveira, he'll chew you up. Nick Lentz's coach has said expect him to be cutting angles the entire time.
Both guys starting to land at a pretty decent clip.
Yeah, Lentz is having a lot of success with his punches right now. Oliveira stands so tall and doesn't move his head. Nick Lentz really finding his target.
Charles Oliveira, a 7-time UFC performance bonus winner. Oh, big right hand from Nick Lentz.
You can see immediately Lentz is rotating his head out of that grip.
Good knee to the body is there for Charles Oliveira.
And he continues to search for that anaconda choke. But he's got so many tricks up his sleeves, you just have to be careful.
I know some were surprised to see Charles Oliveira installed as a near 3-1 favorite.
Oliveira's hurt. Something happened in his eye. You see, he's continuing to wipe it. Referee has not stopped the action, though.
Oh!
Huge right hand.
On the heels of the knee that landed for Oliveira, now a big elbow.
Oliveira's just standing there and taking one to give a few.
Well, to this point, the rematch has been worth the wait.
Man, outstanding. That right hand finds a home, followed by a left though from Nick Lentz.
Oh! Huge elbow upstairs for Oliveira. Oh,
he's down.
Down goes Lentz, knee to the body for Oliveira. Lentz trying to stay in the fight.
He's got to be careful of submission now. Oliveira will wrap up his neck quick. Brutal body strike from Charles Oliveira.
Crowd here waiting to explode. Under a minute now to go in round one.
Wow, and it looks like Nick Lentz will survive for now. Oliveira's past the guard.
Man, Nick Lentz, one tough customer. Charles Oliveira now taking control of the round.
Oliveira's got his arm snaked through. He's looking for an arm triangle choke. Nice defense there from Nick Lentz. Oliveira's going right back to the body.
Beautiful knee to the body for Oliveira.
Just not allowing Nick Lentz to recover. Very smart. Now he's got the full mount.
We'll see if Lentz can survive the final 10.
Excellent job in Nick Lentz to control those wrists and extend Oliveira. He at least minimized the damage.
Well, you know, Sean Shelby smiling somewhere in Las Vegas. This was a fight he worked hard to keep together, a rematch so many fight fans wanted to see after the no contest back in 2011, and they are right back after it to begin round two.
I'll tell you, John, these two should fight every year. Nice job in Nick Lentz to close the distance and just stop the onslaught. Oliveira was really finding his home with the right hand.
Lentz very alert and receptive to his corner's instructions after round one.
Now, the guys at ATT talk about how strong the body lock is in Nick Lentz, and you see there, he lands, and Oliveira's trying to at least get the full guard, and he does. That's a big failure by Nick Lentz. They favored the body lock because he could avoid the guard. Now he's in half guard. Nice work there from Nick.
Oliveira, such a hard guy to neutralize off of his back.
He's just so wiry.
Yeah, and just always working, you know. If he's not improving position, he's throwing an elbow at your mug.
I mean, he's blending up the face of Nick Lentz right now from bottom. Lentz has got to get some shoulder pressure to that right shoulder and free up that left hand and throw some strikes. He's trying to lock down the right arm of Oliveira here with his right hand in the armpit. Very nice job. He passes. Nice work there from Nick Lentz. Oliveira really minimized the damage he could have taken there. Oh, but right on his face.
That couldn't have felt good. We'll see if Lentz can take advantage.
Just as I talked about how he minimized the damage from the ground and pound, he got body slammed right on his mug.
Oh. Couple nice up kicks for Oliveira.
God, these two just must hate each other. There's not a position they don't smash each other in.
Well, and you know, the stakes are so high tonight, I think their performances reflect it.
Certainly, and Nick Lentz has got a very good guillotine. He's not going for it just yet. He's trying to get high on the head, but Oliveira looks like he may be able to slip out.
That is Lentz's preferred submission.
Now it's only going to get tighter from this position. Yep, he's got the hands separated though.
Crowd reacts as Oliveira gets out of harm's way, but Lentz continues to apply pressure.
Much better ground and pound this transition from Nick Lentz. See if he goes back to those elbows. Just any space you give Oliveira when you're on top of him, he's able to recover position so quickly.
Under 2 minutes now to go in round two. Non-stop action through the fight's first 8 minutes.
Some nice right hands there. Oliveira's going to go for a heel hook. He's going to use this to come back up on top. Oh, a nice left hook from 50-50. Lentz has got to be careful here. He's got his weight firmly. He's going to try and spin all the way around. He's able to do it. Oliveira may be able to get up here. Nice hustle there from Nick Lentz.
Really nice job by Lentz.
He's starting to wear down Oliveira a little bit with this grinding style. He's been able to avoid the submission attempts by keeping him stuffed up against the fence. Boy, another back and forth fight. Some nice adjustments made here in round two by Nick Lentz.
Finally, Oliveira back to his feet.
It takes a lot of energy and strength to do that. Nick Lentz knows. He's draining the battery right now of Charles Oliveira.
Oliveira attempts nearly 3 submissions per 15 minutes, but a strong close to round two for the Carney Nick Lentz.
Breathe first. What's happening? You gotta be smart. He's trying to take you down. He's not leaving you any room on the floor. You gotta put in the hooks and push him off, and then you get up. Don't stay on the bottom. You want some water in your eyes? Don't let him get close to you. It's all fine. It's the last round. He's out of it. Work the distance. Get some points. What do we do in the third round? It's like it was the first. Be smart.
Third and final round, Nick Lentz, Charles Oliveira.
It appeared like Oliveira was getting tired after round two, but he got up and on his stool and he wasn't even breathing.
Yeah.
Nick Lentz looking a little bit sloppy on his feet right now. And that was a draining round there, round two. Oh, and another big knee to the body for Oliveira.
Lentz able to drag Oliveira down there. Bronx back to his feet.
Oh, and here's where he's got it. That's tight. That is, he's on around the back of the head. Nick Lentz could go out here. That's extremely tight. Wow,
Oliveira
incredible.
staying committed to the submission here.
You can see the agony on the face.
tap.
That's it.
Charles Oliveira closes the rivalry with a huge submission win here at home.
What a fight. It's only a matter of time. If you allow that man to wrap his arms around your neck, it's only a matter of time before he puts you out.
Lentz expended so much energy offensively in round 2, and to your point, in that 3rd round, Oliveira appeared to be the fresher fighter out of the chute. Another outstanding finish, and presumably bonus coming for Charles Oliveira. You see, in terms of the most submissions in UFC history, Oliveira moves into a tie for 3rd place all time. The move of the fight.
Charles Oliveira, he's just so active in transition. Hits that knee to the body, gets Nick Lentz's head down for a second after that knee and sets up this guillotine, and it's hard to find anybody better when it comes to that front headlock position and these chokes. This kid is vicious. Nick Lentz gutted it out for as long as he could, but was forced to tap. Outstanding fight, both guys. I don't care what they're ranked. Have these two fight once a year, John.
Unbelievable show put on by those two gentlemen here tonight.
I'll tell you, a lot of fun fights to make for Charles Oliveira as he continues to escalate this position. Max Holloway's been a man on the move in the featherweight division. Could that be next? Maybe Chad Mendes, who knows?
Oliveira made his UFC debut at 20 years old, still just 25, and some big fights await. We'll talk to him next. From Goiânia, Brazil, this is Fox Sports 1 UFC Fight Night, Condit versus Alves. We now go inside the octagon where Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Kevin McDonald has called to stop this contest at 1 minute, 10 seconds of the 3rd round. Declaring the winner by tap out due to a guillotine choke, Charles "The Bronx" Oliveira!